What? Cool.
What's good, everyone, and welcome back to the Water Boys channel as it is
Word.
week 7 NFL
Word.
predictions. And let's not wait. Let's just jump right into it. And we're going to go with the football team. They going into Green Bay. Timothy, let them know.
All right, the football team, you guys got to get yourselves together. We cannot take you seriously with this name. Show those emails. Go ahead and give the government what they want to see. But I'm going with the Packers in this game. Aaron Rodgers and this team is looking like they're sitting on a nice, good momentum push. And I think this is a nice little tune-up game. They came out, didn't look so hot with Cincinnati last week. It was a close one, but Packers are going to take this. Chris, what you got?
Yeah, I'm going to slide Green Bay easily. And as of watching the Chiefs last week against the football team, it's
Yep.
just like it's everybody's get right game. And Green Bay doesn't need to get right, but it's kind of disappointing in what the football team is putting on the field because last year they had one of the top defenses in the league and they still got the same players and they just look lost. And as
Where'd
well, the
that go?
offense, they're missing key components as well. And it's just
Mhm.
like they're not the same team we saw last year and they got better players. So it's like what's going on with them? And it's kind of disappointing to see them at the bottom rank of their division when besides the Cowboys, that's a really winnable division where you should be second place in. It's crazy what the football team is putting out there. But we'll move on to the next game. It'll
Go
be
get
my.
Cam.
Let's not move on to that. We'll jump right here too. There's been rumor reports of a Deshaun Watson trade, and it wasn't to the football team. It was Deshaun Watson going to the Miami Dolphins in a three-way trade that would bring Tua to the football team, which I don't think that's an improvement. I don't. Maybe a new scenery
Mm-mm.
for Tua would help, but I don't know. I don't see an improvement there. So this is all confusing right now, and I'll dive into
Mhm.
the next one. It's my team, the Kansas City Chiefs. They are going into Nashville and taking
Mm.
on them Titans.
Mm. King Henry. That's the question. This is the matchup. Can y'all attempt to slow down King Henry? This dude's been feasting for the last couple weeks. Taking the Titans in this one. When it's the fourth quarter, I'm definitely looking to see them just keep feeding it to him, and they control the clock, they control the game. Titans.
I'm just gonna say a few things. Tennessee is a very great opponent, and I love it. But let's backtrack last week. So YouTube, you can find me unsportsmanlike conduct, but the AFC done fucked up. So
Really?
you had the Chargers took an ass beating, which they shouldn't have.
Here we
And
go.
then you got who then Buffalo drops the game as well.
Mhm.
If we beat Tennessee, we're tied with everyone for second. Everyone's been counting KC out and one. They've been blaming Mahomes for all this. But let's clear up Mahomes' stats real quick.
Mm-mm.
He's tied for first in completion percentage. He's got the most touchdowns in the league, third in yards. And yes, his interceptions are high. Four of those were tipped, and
Mhm.
one was a stupid play where he just tried to force. He should really only
Mhm.
have three picks on the year. I'm rolling with Casey. I don't know. I feel like this will be a great game, but something
Mhm.
tells me at the end of the Buffalo game, even though they were getting handed, they still held Buffalo without any points. They came into Washington. Washington only scored one touchdown, and that was off of blown coverage. And their defense is starting to turn it around. Now, Derrick Henry is a huge factor, but if what they've been preaching is kill that engine, if somehow they can hold them to just 100 yards, and if Tennessee focuses on that and nothing on the outside, KC is back in this, and that's the scariest thing for any team. Tennessee's secondary is all second stringers. Everyone is hurt. Mahomes could have a
Very
field
true.
day. This could be a wild game. Like Frank Clark said in the Super Bowl, there's blood in the water. They back in this. But I will be live to give you my game review, whether we win or lose. Hopefully, I'm happy because I will
Mhm.
be on one
Mhm.
if we win.
Mhm.
And then I'll be disappointed if we lose. But, woo,
It'll come down. It'll come
I'm
down to
ready.
that. Whoever has the ball last, just because these defenses are the question mark in this game. Can the secondary of the Titans even try anything with Mahomes? Can you? It's the question.
And that's the thing, like they made some
Mhm.
adjustments as well. Like Sorensen was the one playing Thornhill spot. They finally moved Sorensen back into the box safety, which is where he needs to be. He can't cover anyone running 4-4. Thornhill's the athlete, and that showed a lot last week. And keep your eyes out for Rashad Fenton. He's been a dog. If he could box up AJ Brown, and that's another thing too as well. Julio, he's going to be out there, but he tends to leave the game with his hamstring, and he's not 100%. And if that hamstring can't go, and they just try to focus the passing game on AJ Brown, it's going to be a matchup because I love the Matthew and Thornhill, Sorensen in the box, Fenton on the side, Snead on the other side, and also we get Chris Jones back, and he's not playing his DN position, which he sucked at. They're bringing him back in. They're bringing him back inside as well. I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm liking this new look defense. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's definitely not a 32nd rank. If it's top 20 rank, if we stop them a few drives, teams aren't stopping us. That's all we need is a few drives to be
very
stopped.
true. Very true. Their game plan is to keep the ball in their court
Yeah.
for as long as they possibly can. Keep Mahomes on the sidelines watching.
Let me cool down, and the games are going to start cooling down as well because we got the Falcons going into Miami,
Yeah.
and I don't know what to make of this. So Tim, let me know what you're thinking.
This is the week. If this is going to be some random crap happens, it's going to happen this week. So I'm going to take the Falcons. I'm going to take the Falcons for as much as it might not make any sense.
And
Taking
you're
the
not
Falcons.
crazy either, because I really wanted to think it too. The only thing that swayed me the other way was Matt Ryan is terrible on the road. Like, I don't know what it is that he can only play in that Georgia Dome, that Mercedes Benz new stadium. And
Uh-huh.
that's the only thing that changed my mind because Miami has been terrible. They can't find the offense, which is really disappointing. Like, you got a great running back, Miles Gaskin, who hasn't done nothing this year. Tua, like his first game back, looked terrible.
Exactly.
Brissett was terrible either. That offense can't do anything. The only bright spot is Waddle, who gets like 10 catches a game, but he's only averaging like 5 yards a catch.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna slide with Miami just because I gotta choose somebody, and it's just because it's on the
So
road.
if you had to choose, you're taking the Dolphins.
Yeah, like
Okay, see,
I
if
just
I
feel
had to
like
choose, I'd have to take the Falcons. Even though, see what I mean?
yeah, no, I
Kind
get
of
it
like
because
pick your poison, flip a
I
coin.
like what I like what the Falcons bring to the table because like you got Calvin Ridley coming back from his personal leave.
Mhm.
Kyle Pitts finally had a good game. Like they got the pieces, but we always say this with Atlanta, and they never do nothing. And it's
It
going to be
is
an interesting game. I know it is. I wouldn't be surprised if the Falcons wins. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins win. Like
right.
this is one we just
It's
got to
it's
choose.
the this flip a
And
coin, call it a day.
our next game is another crappy one but it's a divisional one.
It's
We
this
got the
week.
New York Jets going into New England.
It's a game of matchups and assignments. Matchup here I'm looking at is the Sith Lord versus that rookie QB. We just saw what he just did the last couple of weeks, and especially what he did with Tom Brady, giving him all those different looks. You saw what they were doing with the Cowboys and gave Dak all those different looks, but Dak is just that guy. He figured it out in the second half, got it done. Can we say that same thing about Zach Wilson, though? Patriots. Sith Lord. He's going to find a way to frustrate Wilson and actually end up getting him to do exactly what he wants him to do, which is give them the ball. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna slide with the Patriots as well, but
Yeah.
also I was looking for reasonings to see how the Jets could win. Like, I don't think this is gonna
Mm.
be your typical New England and versus the Jets where it's gonna be a blowout. It could be, who knows? You got two rookies going at it with each other. I liked what Mac Jones displayed against the Cowboys. Like, he could have easily won that game in overtime. The thing that bothers me with the Patriots too is I think they're stuck in identity where they succeeded a lot with Tom Brady, which was
Hmm.
the dump off to the running back. I think you got to change that. Unleash Mac Jones. Let's see what he could do because we saw right when he threw a pick six, he threw a touchdown 75 yards down the field. Like, let's see more of him and what he brings to the table.
But it's funny
And
that you bring that up because their offensive coordinator has actually come out and said that they plan on opening up this playbook a little bit more. Let's see what they do as far as opening it up.
But also too, I don't want people to sleep on the Jets because their offense has been like lifeless. It does have its moments, but the thing,
Lifeless.
the thing you need to focus on with this team is they actually got a pretty good defense, and it shouldn't be surprising with Robert Sala
Hmm.
coming from San Fran. Yes, they are losing games. That's just because their
Hmm.
offense isn't up to speed with the defense, which could be scary for New England. Because if the Jets can hold them for a few drives and their offense clicks, this will be a better game than what a lot of people expect. But Bill Belichick knows how to play against rookies. It's in New England. Another surprising stat as well. They are 0-4 at home. They haven't been that bad. I think Bill Belichick really wants to right that ship and not lose 5 games at home this year. Like
Yeah, it's too
that,
much. It's too much for him
that,
to
that can't
keep
happen.
it.
Now our next game, another disappointing game, which is kind of surprising because when
It's
we
like the theme.
yeah, because when we started the year out, Carolina was on a hot streak, 3 and
Hmm.
0. They've dropped three or four straight, but they're going into the Giants, who Daniel Jones has been playing, had a terrible game last week, and
Hmm.
I don't know who to choose really off of it. I mean, I got my prediction, but Tim, let me know where you went.
See, and it's funny that you bring up Daniel Jones because he's been playing so spotty. Like one week, it's like, wow, wasn't expecting that,
Yeah.
and then another week, you're like, that's exactly what I was expecting. I mean, the Panthers' defense is top five as far as yards are allowed concerned. They don't give up too much. They're right around middle of the pack with the rest of that. It's just I'm just not believing it's this week for the Giants. They are injury bitten. Like
Mhm.
it seems like everyone and their grandma is hurt this week. So even if they do clear it and they play and they have questionables, they have game time decisions, they got people where they're like, no, they're not gonna go. It's too much. Too much Panther shit. Be able to get them a nice W, but they're gonna squeeze it out. I don't think this is gonna be
Yeah.
the game that we think. Like it's gonna be ugly.
It's
Ugly. Might come down to a field goal in the last like 30 seconds. Don't be surprised.
it's real disappointing because we thought Sam Darnold, new home, started off hot.
Right?
He turned a leaf, was happy to get away from the Jets, and that just spiraled down real quickly. But
All the way.
if you want to get right, you're going back to the state where they dropped you, even though it's not the team. So might as well show
Mm-hmm.
out for New York again. And I mean, you guys are missing Christian McCaffrey, but let's not play. You got wideouts and Robbie Anderson. You got DJ
Mm-hmm.
Moore. You can make
Mm-hmm.
plays. The thing Sam Darnold needs to watch out for is he's a mobile quarterback, and he hasn't been using that as of late. In the Cowboy game, how he kept him in the game, he had two rushing touchdowns. Now he's doing too much and throwing interceptions. Trust your legs when you can't find a read. Now
So
we got a fun one now. We got Cincinnati Bengals gonna try to prove if they legit, and no better time than do it than going into Baltimore. How you seeing this?
I honestly see the Bengals being able to pull this off. They can, especially with how I've been watching them lately, especially how they were matching up with Packers and I'm gonna get his name wrong. Wasu, the corner that they have out there. See, no, see, we
Like
can't even go into that. We don't go to that. Yeah, but they have a lot of like different playmakers. When you're watching them, you're like, yo, they're right there in every game they have until whatever turns the tide. But I just don't see them being able to do anything with Lamar. Lamar's always the X factor in every single game they're going to have. And now it seems like the marriage between Lamar Jackson and Greg Roman have starting to mesh and they're starting to see how each other likes their eggs scrambled in the morning, it seems. Lamar is really starting to notice what defenses are doing with him because let's be real, if you are crazy enough to run man to man with that guy in the pocket, you're asking for him to run for 200 to 300 yards all over your defense. So he's starting to look and notice and read these zone looks that he's getting. If you're watching a lot of the different routes that he has these receivers running, a lot of them are short underneath slants and ins and outs and a lot of deep curls. I'm watching a lot of deep curls and a lot of his receivers are sitting right down in the openings within the zone and he's making those reads and he's getting the ball out. And that's been a lot of the recipe for how he's been getting off with his arm more so than he's been getting off with his legs. We know what he's going to do with his legs, but it's how much he's been consistent with his arm as of late. So I just think he's going to continue to be able to do that. The Bengals are going to run zone looks at him, but it's still just can you contain him? Can you put a lid on him? And no one can. You can only hope to slow him down, or he does something reckless and careless with the football throwing it, and he throws it to the other team. But I'm taking the Ravens in this game. Who you got?
if I have to go on upset, I'm gonna take Cincinnati, and
What?
I I
Upset?
believe
Upset?
I believe in that pick like 5% of me. So, but I can see it as well. The
Yeah, there's a whole nother
95%, I'm not gonna
95.
be surprised if Baltimore. I
Right.
wouldn't be surprised if Baltimore wins. Like the way they
Mhm.
handled you guys, the way they look, but also too, like I mentioned earlier, teams that come off these huge wins, come off a big letdown. And this is a division game, so if people are going to expect the Ravens to do what they did against the Chargers, that's just not the case. These
No.
teams know each other way too good where it's going to be
Mhm.
like that. I do love the way Joe Burrow is playing. The thing that reason the Ravens destroyed the Chargers, and Tim can attest to this all night,
Mhm.
is because the Chargers don't know how to stop the run for the life of them. Damn, every running back and their mama had a touchdown on the Chargers. I don't see that being the case here. I think they could keep up, and if that defense can make one or two stops, this is going to be a fun game. I'm going to edge
Very
it for
key
the Bengals.
stops. They would need
Yeah.
those very, very key stops. So keep up their zone assignments because that's the look. But above it all, can they mix their coverages and try to confuse Lamar at the line? That's something I want
Mhm.
to see Lamar be able to do. Can he make those
Yeah.
pre-snap reads and be able to get the ball off or be able to come with a counter when they're coming with their their different alternative looks. So we'll let it see. But I'm loving the evolution as far as Lamar is concerned. But I really think it's the marriage with him and his OC. I think they're really starting to
Yeah.
get it down pat.
Because if you look at it too, the Bengals and Chargers are very similar. So you could be
Hmm.
like, you could see how the Ravens could easily win this game. But I don't know. I'm not going to do that just because they match up same young quarterbacks. They got great outside weapons. They got good running back. But I don't think Cincinnati will allow all those rushing yards. I could be wrong, and that's what will change the game. Is if you let all these running backs go off on you, and then Lamar find these good play action passes.
True.
You ready to go back into the shitty games? Because we got
See,
the.
see how the rest of this week goes. You don't even want to talk about the rest of the games.
Well, speaking of that, I'm hoping the Eagles actually run the ball with Miles Sanders if they want to stand a chance
There
against
you
the
go.
Raiders. Let me know what you're
There you
thinking.
go. If the Eagles can do that, they have a chance to win this game.
It's not like even Miles Sanders has been bad. They're not running him. Like they give
They're
him
just
two
not.
carries a game. What?
They're not.
Like I don't get it. Like he's healthy and everything.
The carries that should be going to the running back, they're trying to use Hurts in that way, and it shouldn't be that way. If you were going to try to use him, you should have been using him how you were using him on film against maybe the Falcons. I liked how they were doing that. They were getting the ball to Sanders. They were getting him out of the pocket on boots on those play action looks, and then being able to feed the ball down. What happened? Like it's like you put the cart before the horse, and now you got this. Can you get your play calling right? Can you get your scheme right? Run Sanders, run them. You might be able to win. But I'm taking these Raiders solely because on the opposite side of the ball, as far as the defense is concerned, that defense is serious, man. They're in every quarterback's
Mhm,
face every week. Crosby's for real.
mhm.
It's hurts, it's pressure, getting all in his face. Can they put something on contain? Maybe take a linebacker and have him, spy on the QB, have him maybe contain to keep him from running outside the pocket and hold their assignment on the back end. They'll be able to win this game. Raiders. Ooh, that tastes like vinegar.
I really want to see an upset, and it could happen. Like let's not play like Eagles don't have talent. They just don't know how to use their talent. But the way this team is coached right now, it's like they're doing everything opposite what they need to be doing. That's strictly why I'm going through the Raiders is all coaching, and also too, like you mentioned, their defense is probably their strong point, which is crazy as well because that's not how it's been in prior years. Max Crosby is a beast. That D line is stepping up. You got Casey Hayward out there feeling like he's at home back in LA when he was with the Chargers. Um,
And
Also,
I
too,
just don't
it
see
might
the
it might be
matchups
a blessing in disguise as well with the whole John Gruden thing because I feel like that makes him better without him.
very much
Now,
so.
it just don't get no better this week. It really don't. I, I I don't get it. We got like two good games. We got the revenge game, however you want to look at it. You got
Mm,
Jared Goff. You got Matthew Stafford. You
mm,
got Sean McVay going
mm,
against Jared Goff. He's like,
mm.
"Did you sleep with my wife? How is this gonna go?"
Look, D Town, you guys need a win. You guys need a dub. This ain't the week. If there is ever a week for Stafford to come ball out, this is the week. I'm betting on Matthew Stafford to just have him a game. He's motivated more than ever to go have him a game.
So yeah, I completely agree. I think Matthew Stafford, and it's funny. There's not no bad blood. Like the Lions actually traded him to a good contender to give
Mm-hmm.
him a chance to win a Super Bowl. That's very nice because most teams don't do that. But Jared Goff ain't got the weapons that Matthew Stafford have. Matthew Stafford got Cooper Cup, Deshaun Jackson, Robert Woods, Henderson. It's mostly McVay. McVay
True.
wants to prove his team is better without Goff. This is a top five defense. So
True.
even if you know them, they know you as well. So they're gonna execute. Another shitty one. We got the
Right.
Houston Texans going into Arizona. That's your other fantasy quarterback as well. So
I'll see how it goes because I do see him spreading the ball out like how he's been. He's been spreading the ball out nicely. But ooh, if I could trade for Ertz right now, I would. But I already have a couple
don't
of
I
other
have
good
him?
tight ends. Did you? Did you pick him up?
I picked him up. I might have. I think I dropped him, so you might as well pick him up. Um,
Someone else picked him
because
up.
I
Watch.
picked him up on his last week with Philly because Kyle Pitts was out. and he got
Mm.
me a good 12 points. That's all I needed him to do.
Hmm.
But it'll
I see
be
him being
interesting.
able to score in this
What you
game.
see? I don't
But
think he'll play. Will he play this? Is this the first game?
mhm.
Is he able to play in this one? I don't know how that goes.
but
Oh yeah, I think he is.
too much for the Texans. They have too many. They have too many concerns. They have too many things going on. They got underlying distractions. I mean, your franchise player is just it's not playing. They're in a loop, but it's showing on the field. The product is showing. So what are you gonna do? I think their season starts and begins to start looking better once they have an answer for that. Whether do they move them?
We keep talking about the Dallas Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers, the Bucks, and we just don't even mention Arizona whatsoever. That needs to stop. They the last undefeated team. They're undefeated for a
And
reason.
it's for real.
JJ Watt, he was even on the sideline. He's all like, it was against the Browns, and he was going off. He's like, maybe we just better than them. As much as we don't want to believe in the Cardinals, this is a new year, and they got the weapons. And we didn't even factor JJ Watt. He get to play his old team. Davis Mills,
True.
I feel sorry for you because you
Yeah, I
never
really
played with
do.
the kid, so
I
he gonna
really
be
do.
after you.
And he knows for a fact. Yeah, y'all can't block him. He been saying on. You've been hearing him mic'd up. You can't block him. You can only hope to contain him.
And
You really can't. Let's be real.
you spoke on the Cardinals too, but it's like they're edge rushers. They got Chandler Jones, Watt. Then that offense, we know they're explosive as can be. Connor seems like he's at a resurgent out of the backfield, and he's looking good as well. Arizona is for real. It's hard to believe, but they are. There's a reason they're undefeated.
And they have been tested. It's not
Now,
like other teams that
yeah,
have had like some cupcake matchups. Cowboys, but they are tested. They're battle tested, and they're still undefeated. So
let's
second,
move
but
on to another team who's not battle tested like that, and they still won't be continue to be battle tested. It'll be the Chicago Bears going into Tampa Bay and taking on
mm.
Brady.
See, now this is my possible upset alert. Now, if everything spells and goes magically, we know one thing about Tom Brady. He's Superman, right? Well, Superman has a weakness. It's called kryptonite. And his kryptonite is pressure, pass rush. Who's leading the league in sacks this season? Bears. So, if your number one strength is another team's number one weakness, and they're kind of injury ridden, especially in the secondary, Phil's to come in here and be like, yo, I'm going against Tom Brady. Let me play a little bit more motivated. Let me get these guys hyped up in my own little stealth, little sly way, how he does it out there. But if it's an upset, can it happen? There's no Gronk, there's no Sherman, there's no AB. They still have other weapons, but if there's an upset, I'm just looking just to see the Bears play to their strengths
Are
and to
you
slow
actually
down
sliding
Tom
that way?
Brady. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna slide this way. I'm gonna slide this way.
Okay.
The perfect week for the Bears to do it, and then they can ride that wave for the next couple of games. If you're gonna do it, this is the week. They're hobbled. It's like
My
the
only
king of the
main
jungle, and he's hobbled.
My only main concern with it is, and I do like the points of mention because Buccaneers are hurt just as any other like team
Mhm.
as worse, if not. And my only thing with it is just the coaching on the Bears side and what we
True.
talked about with Mac Jones as well. Unleash Justin Fields. Let's see what he can do. Like it's like he's got the
Take
leash on
Cheetos.
him. Yeah, take it off. Let's see what's the worst he can do. Like you guys are already expected
Hero
to
ball.
lose. So you guys are already expected to lose, so you might as well just see what the kid got and go for it. Like it's an interesting take. It could happen, but I'm just gonna slide with the Bucks because I know they're missing so much. I just don't trust on what Nagy is doing with Chicago. But things could change as well. You never know. This could be their type of Super Bowl where they want to prove, hey, we just as good as them, even though they're not. And
This is their
those
Super Bowl.
those type of games happen all the time. Now, I don't know if we want to call this a bad game or not. It's an interesting game. I'll give it that. We got the
Mm-hmm.
Indianapolis Colts Sunday Night Football going
Mm-hmm.
into San Fran. It's definitely an interesting game.
Mm-hmm. It's become a rivalry over the years a little bit. Okay, teams they don't they don't tend to like each other's games are usually good, but this was back with the old look Colts. Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck Colts, and then the Niners had guys like Kaepernick and the rest of them guys. For me, I like the matchup with the Colts being able to run with that 11th ranked rush offense versus the Niners defense not looking so stout against the run, not as much as they are against the pass. They're really good against the pass. But this team's strength is when Taylor can get going, Wentz can hit over the top when they load boxes.
Mhm.
So if they can get to that, they definitely have a chance to win. And I'm going to lean towards the Colts in this game.
It really isn't though, because Niners have been battling their own injury bug. Jimmy G is coming back since Trey Lance has a hurt knee. I think he was going to come back regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But the Colts, even though they're losing games, they have been in every game as well. And
Mm-hmm.
people are sleeping on Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is like a top three back in this league. He does well with every carry he has. As you mentioned before this, they're getting Quentin Nelson back. Ty is out,
Mm-hmm.
but Carson Wentz is also coming into his own as well. He's starting to throw the ball, making precise decisions. I took the Colts just because I think they're a better team, and I think they can
Right,
come into
right,
San
right.
Fran and win this game. Now, we're going to cap it off, and we're going to cap it off the bad way, but that's how this week tended to be. But that's just because bye weeks hit us, and we're going to cap off Monday night. It's going to be the Saints battling the injured Seattle Seahawks.
Seahawks, no Russ. Is Gino starting?
Yep.
No. The Saints still have talent on the defensive side of the ball. They have enough to get it done. And if you lose to a hobbled Seahawks team right now,
Yeah.
it's not it. Dude, it's not just anybody, it's their franchise player. And it's not like an injury he
Yeah.
can just roll off. It's on his throwing hand. So
Like this is the perfect game to cap off week 7 just because they all besides 2
mhm.
games are
Right, right.
like not that interesting. But again, like if you watched Seattle and Pittsburgh, Seattle made Pittsburgh look like a superior team, and Pittsburgh not even great. And that was the most like frustrating part. Even though in the second half, Seattle started making a comeback, and that was good because they focused on running the ball. With that being said, you still got no Chris Carson. Alex Collins will be back and playing, but he's not 100% as well. So you got to go to Rashad Penny, who hasn't been really a trusted running back. Can the quarterback find him? If the quarterback can't get you the ball, you just got a nice Ferrari in the garage, basically, and
With no gas in
that's a struggle. Yeah,
it. Like
like
no gas in a boot.
it will. This will be probably a good game because the Saints aren't that much better either.
Yeah.
They've had just as Jameis does with every other team. He has his good and his bad weeks. They better hope he has his good weeks and this is a blowout because if it's his bad week, they're going to be in a dogfight with Seattle, which they really shouldn't be. But
Man,
it could happen because you
disappointing.
don't know what you're getting.
Disappointing. Man. Still gonna be a close game though. Still gonna be an ugly game,
Oh
just the
yeah,
same with the Panthers game
yeah,
earlier. But it
yeah.
can go either way. But I'm taking them Saints. Saints.
Yeah. And I'm going to roll out with the Saints as well. And that will wrap up our disappointing week 7 predictions. Those bye weeks took the
Disappointing.
best of us. If you have any predictions that you disagree with us or agree with us, comment down below. While you're at it as
Word.
well, you might as well subscribe to the channel. We are here every week, besides last week because Tim's voice didn't work. But that's neither here nor there because we back, we rocking, we rolling. Tim, you got anything you want to say? No, and just because the lineup doesn't look nice doesn't mean the games can't turn out to be really good because
True.
9 times out of 10 these games are going to be exciting as well. Just because it doesn't look good on paper doesn't mean that's what the going to be provided on our TV screens.
Look for some sleepers, some upsets. Let's see. Well, until next time. Name's Tim.
Yeah,
Signing off.
and I'm Chris. Take care. I will see you with the instant reaction for the Chiefs game. Hopefully I'm happy. If not, if I'm mad, I'll still see y'all.
He said even
Take
if
care.
I'm mad. Deuces.